Like what we do? Consider supporting the channel by becoming a Patreon member. The link is in the description below. And as always, please enjoy the story.
Tapping her foot, Becca impatiently looks up and down the shop aisle as she waits for Ross to emerge from the changing room. "Hurry up," Becca whispers, gently tapping on the thin wooden changing room door. "It's the zip," Ross utters back through the closed door. "I can't reach it." "Do you need me to help?" "No," Ross replies hastily. "No, don't come in." "Why?" Becca queries, confused. "'Cause I don't," Ross remarks. "I don't understand this at all. Why do dresses have zips at the back?" "I don't know," Becca answers flippantly. "Never had an issue with dresses like that when I was a girl." The changing room door flies open, and Ross stands with his dress unzipped and his hands on his hips. "What do you mean, when you was a girl?" Becca can't help but smile wide as she sees Ross in the dress that she picked for the first time. She wants to kiss his irate little face. "Becca?" he asks irritably, annoyed at her grinning face. Not breaking eye contact, Becca places her hands on Ross's shoulders and spins him easily on the spot. Ross complains with a grunt, but Becca is stronger, and she soon has the dress zipped up. "There you go," she says triumphantly, as Ross picks at and adjusts the material around his abdomen. "Thanks," he replies, gawking into the changing room mirror at his reflection. Allowing his shoulders to sag, Ross sighs. "I really am a girl now, aren't I?" "Yeah," Becca cheerfully answers, resting her chin upon Ross's head and embracing him from behind. "We do make a seriously cute couple, though. Our children would be very pretty." Ross rolls his eyes as Becca holds him tight. "Not something we'd be able to do right now with you like that." Becca lets out a long breath. "I know. But I was wondering if the curse would continue to affect you too." Becca," Ross screeches, pushing away from her embrace with all of his might. "Stop pushing that thing up against me like that." Ross breaks free and glares at her with fury. Becca goes bright red as she feels it growing in her pants. "Oh," she bashfully squeals, crossing her legs and covering that area with her hands. I didn't mean to." Putting his hand to his face, Ross shakes his head. "Get it together, Becca. Control yourself." "I can't stop it. What do I do?" "I'd say you need a cold shower," Ross replies. "I just hope that isn't the reaction to what I'm wearing." Becca bites her lips and looks away nervously. "I was only thinking about you having our children," she whispers. "Right," Ross demands, gathering his old outfit from the changing room. "Let's pay for this and get going. The quicker we get the stuff off my face, the quicker the curse is broken and you change back to normal." "Okay," Becca responds quietly, desperately trying to cover herself in any way possible. A few uncomfortable moments later, the two have paid for their new outfits and find themselves back in the car. Becca is still bright red from embarrassment, but she's happy it's gone away. Not saying a word more, Ross starts the car and reverses out of the parking space. Pulling out of the car park and heading back to the freeway, Ross can't stop thinking about the reflection in the mirror that caused Becca to get all excited. He's extremely confused by Becca's behavior. He wonders what she meant about the curse affecting him. That's when more thoughts burrow into his mind. Does Becca see him as a girl? Has she always been attracted to girls? Has the transformation changed her sexual preference? Ross doesn't know the answer to any, but hopes things will go back to normal once they get to the factory. "Sorry about that," Becca eventually says, breaking the silence between them. "I haven't had this thing for long. It just sorta happens, doesn't it? So embarrassing." Welcome to the male experience, Ross replies sarcastically. Guess it's a rite of passage. We've all been there, so don't worry. Crossing her chunky long legs, Becca gently smiles. Yeah? Yep. Thanks. That makes me feel a little less mortified, although I'm more worried about your reaction to it. Don't be. Not like I haven't been pretending to be a girl already, he replies, plucking at his new dress. Becca giggles. Welcome to the female experience. I'm sure we can look back on this and laugh when we're back to normal. I guess, Becca replies with a long yawn. I think I'm going to try to sleep now. Wake me when we're near the factory. Eventually, Becca falls asleep and snores loudly with her mouth wide open. Focusing on the road, Ross settles in for the rest of the journey. Every so often, he'd get distracted and glance at Becca sleeping. He can't shake those worries in the back of his mind. She seems so different since he woke up. It all seemed so simple when they left. Get the makeup removed and come home. Becca's transformation changes everything. Will she even change back? As the day turns to evening, the sun bathes the road in a warm glow. Ross knows their destination is just off the next turnoff. The sat-nav says 5 minutes away. Feeling himself getting tense, he can't help but feel the panic brewing that is no longer there. He holds his breath in anticipation as he slows the car to come off the freeway. As he drives slowly through the industrial areas of the unfamiliar rustic town, Ross isn't given a good feeling about the place. Derelict buildings litter the streets and vandalism scars the area. Urban decay is rampant and vegetation is retaking the entire place. Beck, Ross says, reaching over to nudge his snoring girlfriend. Becca, we're here. Slowly waking, Becca wipes her eyes and sits up. Looking at Ross, she smiles wide. Hi. Yeah, hello, Ross anxiously replies, signaling with his eyes for her to look out the windows. Oh, Becca comments, taking in her first impression of the decaying area. Looks like this town has seen better days. You think? Ross snaps. Becca, I'm starting to get genuinely worried. Don't panic. If it's not here anymore, we'll work out a way to get that stuff off your face. And what about you? Me? Yeah, have you forgotten already? Becca's face goes bright red. Oh yeah, everything just seems kind of normal to me. Concentrating hard on the road, Ross doesn't reply. He looks worried at the sat-nav screen. Making the next right turn, they drive down a cracked and potted road. The buildings on the street are boarded up or chained shut. The area seems deserted. No cars, no people, just the rotting remains of what once was a thriving town. I think that's it, Becca says, pointing straight forward at the building at the end of the road. The Life Expanding Company. It's the same branding as on the makeup box. You sure? Ross asks uneasily. Don't say anything about makeup. I'm very sure. It's defo the place. As the car approaches the building, they both stare intently at it. The gates for the complex are wide open. No security? Ross questions uneasily, driving the car past the barrier. Now I'm really worried. Maybe they're on break, Becca replies upbeat. Bringing the car to a stop, they stare at the building for a moment without saying a word to each other. The building isn't boarded or chained up, but it certainly seems deserted. There's no one here, Becca. Ross worries as he switches the car off. We are the only people here. No effing way. I just knew this was a waste of time. Becca looks at Ross, and he's noticeably shaking. Ross, try not to worry. I'm sure someone is here we can talk to. Look at the front door. It's not chained shut like the other buildings around here. We've not seen a single car or person since coming off the freeway. No way anyone is still here. Becca points in the other direction at a beaten down and worn camper van. See? Someone is here. Removing her seatbelt, Becca pushes open the door. Let's go find them and ask. Stepping out of the car, Becca feels the evening air chill her skin. Although she wants to be positive, she knows the likelihood of them getting any help is slim. The place just has an eerie emptiness about it, like they've driven to a nuclear exclusion zone. "Becca!" Ross screeches, getting out of the car and instantly shivering because of the cold air. "I don't like this." She quickly moves around the car to comfort him. Pulling him tight and close, she shares her warmth. "You want that makeup off, right?" Looking up at Becca as she presses his head into her chest, Ross nods. "You know I do." "Let's go back around then," she replies gently. "The person who owns that van might know something." Smiling at him, she slowly lets go. Ross folds his arms tight and holds back his long hair to stop it from blowing in his face. Approaching the building, Becca reaches the large double doors to the factory, and she rubs at the dirt on the window to peer inside. Unable to see anything, she places a hand on the large metal handle. The door creaks loudly as she pushes it open, clenching her teeth as she enters the darkened entryway. She looks back at Ross. She knows it doesn't look hopeful. Ross follows behind her, and their footsteps echo through the large, cold, dark room before them. Blooms of dust swirl around them as they move. "It's deserted," Ross whispers, stepping closer to Becca. "How is this possible? How could a company selling this sort of magical stuff just disappear?" Looking for signs of life or anything that might help them, Becca doesn't react to Ross. She presses further into the dark. "Look there, the main office," Becca says, reaching for her phone to switch on the torch. "Let's go look." Ross grabs Becca's hand and tugs her bag. "Wait, aren't you scared?" Becca turns back and shrugs. "Of what?" "Aren't you at all nervous?" Ross whines, holding himself close to her. "This place is like a ghost town. Doesn't that bother you?" Becca shrugs again. "What on earth has happened to this place?" Becca questions, looking around. "Looks like it hasn't been used in years." "Come to think of it, the shop looked like it had been deserted for years, too," Ross yelps, thinking back to the shop at the mall. Ross twitches and folds his arms tighter. He feels that something doesn't add up. "How exactly did you get that makeup box again?" Ross questions firmly. Becca shakes her head and then looks away. "I don't think you bought it from that shop, did you?" Ross asks suspiciously. "By the looks of all this, the company has been toast for many years. That means someone must have given it to you. They must have known what it was capable of, which makes me curious as to why you kept it safe all those years and never used it before putting it on me. Why is that, Becca?" Stepping away, Becca shines the torch on the main office door. "Let's check out the office for clues." "Don't ignore me, Becca!" Ross barks furiously. "None of this is adding up. What aren't you telling me?"